Hello, I am Umbrenero and welcome back to Umbrenero's Life. Today's video is my July 2024 plan with me. So, continuing the theme of video game based themes for each month, I did that again with July. And for July, I wanted to do a game that actually is a favorite of mine. So I did the Spyro, original Spyro games. And I had a lot going on in July, so this layout is very simplified and condensed. As you can see, I went through and drew in all of my lines first. And with my monthly calendar, I also included my monthly log on the same page because I did not want to do a separate spread, and like I said before, I had a lot going on. So after I had all of my lines drawn and everything, I had to block out the areas I did not want to color with my distress inks. So you can see me going through here and cutting, and I did make a few deep cuts on accident, which I discovered later on. But I learned very quickly, be careful how much pressure you really use. Once I had the first page fully blocked off, I started with my distress ink. And the main colors I used were purple and yellow, because Spryo the Dragon is a little purple dragon with yellow spikes. So, first page was all done. Had to remove all of the tape I had blocking areas, and here I had to go through and block off a little bit more. This was a lot of repeat the process over and over for this part in particular, because there was just a lot that needed to get colored in. So with that all done, it was on to labeling. Went through, labeled every day for the month, and then labeled my key. But before I could do that, I had to put my label in for the month of July, and I even threw a little bit of purple on there to make it fit. With all of the colors labeled and assigned to what they will be representing, I put in the quick swatch, and that basically wrapped up my monthly calendar and my monthly log. Next was my goals and things page. So kind of like how I did the first page, I did all my outlining first. And as you can see, I did two weirdly shaped boxes. I reused a couple of the sticky notes that I had because I had extras that were losing their stick. So what better way to use them? And then I used a little bit of masking tape for the areas that needed to be cut out specifically. And then it was coming in with the purple distress ink. Very quick and easy layout. Then I took the little labels I had pre-made and glued them in their sections. And here is where I realized I went and cut through in certain spots. That's why I hurry up taped the page there. But as you can see here, my camera did not record everything that I was wanting it to. So, you see this part. I went and did all of the distress ink first, after I had laid down all of my little blockers, because why not do it the easy way? And I put those down while I was taping the pages that ended up having cuts through them. So, things happen. You forget to hit record. So, I went in, drew the line after, realized it was a lot easier to draw the line first. But I also had to put in the label for this page. Luckily, I had them all pre-cut out, printed, so it was just quickly adding the glue and sticking it on. Now for the weekly logs. So before I even started the monthly log, I had a lot of details I had to cut out for the weekly logs. I did a little crystal for each day of the month that was colored in the same monetary value as it would be in the Spyro game, which means I had 31 days worth of gems to color in that varied in colors based on what day of the month it was. This took over 4 hours to do because, as you can see how small they are, it took a while to cut those all out and color them. But the first week was pretty easy. I got into a rhythm and just knew what I needed to keep doing. So I repeated the process for the rest of the month. And because I had gone in advance and colored them all in and cut them out, I didn't have to worry about going, alright, this one goes this day, let's color it in after it's glued in. Nope, I did it all in advance to save the time while I was recording. So after all the boxes were done being drawn in, the next easiest part was just labeling them with the day and the number of what the date was. And on the back of each of my little gems, I did write the number for that day in case I forgot how much those gems equaled. So the red ones were 1, green was 2, blue was 5, yellow was 10, and the purple was 25. But we didn't get to any of the purple yet. There were a couple little spots where I had to take a single gem and add it to a bunch that I already had, because when I made my gems, they didn't come the way I needed fully, so I made it work. And I did try to scatter them around to disperse them throughout the page, just so there's a little bit of an element everywhere. So for my reflection, it was a very, very simple layout, to the point I forgot to draw the box on the page. So I took my purple distress ink and just went in. Started at the corners and just started adding it in more and more. Once I had the majority of the page outlined with the purple distress ink, I added in my label, but I felt I needed more color, so I added more once the label was put in the spot it was needed. In all, this ended up being one of the spreads that this year I really enjoyed, even with its simplicity. And I'm not saying it just because it was one of my favorite games that I have played. It just felt right, and it helped me start to get back on track with things. So, you can only do what you can do. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I am Umbrenero. Bye!